welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at IXL. This is standard FF17. Now this is for your day 20. I learned at home. You've done it. Can you imagine? 20 days of instruction we've had here via online. I really hope that this is the last lesson that you'll have to watch, and then the next week we'll be back at school around each other. So for today, let's cross those fingers and hope for the best, okay? So today we're going to look at the volume of triangular prisms. Now, triangular prism is a 3D object. After all, we're talking volume, right? So you're going to use the area of the triangle formula in helping you to do this. Now remember, with the area of a triangle, you had base times height, and then you divided that by 2. You cut it in half, all right? Well, you're going to do that same thing again, only now there's one more step. To get the volume of a triangular prism, you start with base times height, you cut that in half, and then you multiply that by the length. So I've given you a couple of examples here just to kind of show you. For example, here is a rectangular prism. Now let's say that this prism itself has a base of 5, a height of 6, and then let's go with a length of 4. Okay, now of course I haven't done units on this. We can use any units that we like. We can say this is 5 inches, 6 inches, 4 inches. Okay, so base of 5 inches, height of 6 inches, how tall the triangle is, and then the length from the front to the back. Okay, now sometimes you'll see the length at the top, sometimes you'll see the length right here, and all that's telling you is how long it is, once again, from the front to the back. So we start with base times height. 5 times 6 is 30. Now we take that 30 and we divide it by 2, because remember, you're cutting it in half. Well, half of 30 is 15. Okay? Now that you have that, this is the area. But we don't need the area. We need the volume. And to get the volume, now we take this 15 and we multiply it by the length. This length here is 4 inches. So now we have 15 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20. We put our 0. We carry a 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 makes 6. So this has a volume of 60 inches, and now cubed. 60 cubic inches. 60 inches cubed. And remember, we don't put the little 2. That was for area. What we're using now is a little 3 for volume. Okay? Because we have 3 dimensions. Base, height, length. 1, 2, 3. Let's do another one. Presley, give us a number for base.
14.
Presley said that this has a base of 14. Okay, Presley, give us a number for height.
11.
11. This has a height of 11. And Presley, give us a length.
13.
13. Okay, so everybody watch what we do here. First off, we have a base of 14 and a height of 11. Okay, so we start by multiplying base times height. We have 14 times 11. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, placeholder. 1 times 4 is 4. And then 1 times 1 is 1. And now we add those together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. And then the 1 drops. Now that gives us 154. And now we have to split that in half. Because remember, you do the area first. So let's do that. 154 divided by 2. 2 goes into 15 7 times. 2 times 7 is 14. 15 minus 14 is 1. And this 4 drops. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. And our problem is done. So now we have 77. Now that gave us the area. The area of this one triangle is 77. Now, we have a length, Presley told us, of 13. So imagine if this were like a loaf of bread and we've cut it into 13 slices. And each of those slices has an area of 17. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that 77 and we're going to multiply that by our length. So 77 times 13. 3 times 7 is 21. We put a 1. We carry a 2. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 2 makes 23. Placeholder. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 7 is 7. And now we add. 1 plus 0 is 1. 3 plus 7 is 10. We carry a 1. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. We carry a 1. It drops. Wow, look at that. We have a volume of 1,001 cubic units. But that's what it is, right? Because volume. Base times height, cut it in half, and then multiply that by the length. So what I'm going to do is I'll erase these examples and we'll grab us a couple of problems off of IXL. Now, this is a good time for me to remind you, when you're working on your IXL, remember, your goal is a SMART score of 80 or above. You can stop at 80, you can stop at 81, you can stop at 84, 89, 90, 95, 96, 97, and so on. But do remember, if you go all the way to a SMART score of 100, you're going to get bonus points and we'll shout you out on our future videos, on our future video submissions. Okay? So let's grab a problem off of IXL. Okay. Got a marker here. They've given us a triangular prism with 4, 5, and 2. So check it out. First off, here's a triangle. Here is another triangle drawn slightly higher. And now you just connect the corners. Okay. So, we've got our triangular prism, all right? And we're going to look at how they are created. Here is my face of my triangular prism. This is like the front, okay? Now, what they're telling us on this one is, and I'm going to grab a black. It has a base of 5 inches. Okay, it's got a base of 5 inches. It's got a height of 4 inches. And it's got a length, once again, that's from front all the way to back, of 2 inches. Okay, so base times height, cut in half, and then multiply that by the length. So base times height. What is 5 times 4? You got it. That's 20. And now we cut that in half. Presley, what's half of 20?
10.
10. And so now we take that 10 and we multiply it by the length, which is 2. 10 times 2 is 20 inches. But remember, it's not just 20 inches. It's 20 inches cubed because we're dealing with 3 dimensions. Base, height, length. Okay? We look here. We put in 20. We hit enter. It says fantastic. SMART score has jumped to 10 and now it gives us our next model. Let's draw another. And once again, remember, anytime you want to, you can pause this video, you can rewind this video, you can watch this video as many times as you like. You can use a calculator to help you on your calculations. And if you ever need any help, feel free to reach out to me through Google Classroom, Class Dojo, email, phone, text message. You can even leave a comment down below with any kind of questions you have, and I'll make sure that I reply to you. So our next triangular prism here, this is a tall one. We draw the first triangle. Now this is going to be the face of our triangle. I do another one slightly back, a little bit higher, and then we just connect the dots. So bottom to bottom, bottom to bottom, top to top. And then I like to color in that face to make it easy for us to see. Sometimes when these lines get to crisscrossing, it can make it hard for us to see where the front of the prism is. Okay, so here we go. Now, we'll grab us a different color. Let's go with a blue. There we go. All right, now this particular one, it has a base of 3 meters. Okay, here's our height line coming right down through here. This has a height of 4 meters. And now remember that length from front to back. This has a length of 3 meters. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12 meters. Okay, now remember, we did the base times height. Now it's time to cut it in half. What's half of 12? You got it. Half of 12 is 6. And now we take that and we multiply it by our length. 6 times 3. Well, what is 6 times 3? 6, 12, 18. That's right. This should be 18 meters cubed. 18 meters cubed. We go right here. We type in 18. We hit enter. Super. Smart score jumps up to 19. And we're off to the races. Now let's do one more for ourselves. But this time, I want to increase the difficulty because you might see problems like this. What if they tell you the total volume and they leave out one of the sides? So what if they give you a triangle? Let's do a right triangle on this one. And remember, why is this one a right triangle? Well, because I've got that one box right there where it's a 90-degree angle, right? So bottom to bottom, bottom to bottom, top to top. Now this is my face. This is the front. Okay? Now for this would be my base. This would be my height. And this would be my length. Of course, that could be the length, or down here, this could be the length. Now, let's say that you have this triangular prism. And let's say that it has a base of 9 centimeters. And let's say it has a height of 9 centimeters, okay? We've got a base of 9 centimeters. We've got a height of 9 centimeters. We've got a length of X. Ooh. Now, what we know is the volume equals 45 centimeters cubed, okay? Now, we have a side missing, right? So what we have to do is work backwards. So instead of using all multiplication, you're going to use division. But let's do the base and the height first. 9 times 9, base times height, is 81 centimeters. That's right. And then you cut 81 in half. So if I take 81 and I divide that by 2, 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0, and now the 1 drops. Decimal point, 0, drop that. 2 goes into 10 5 times. That makes 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. We're cool. So ultimately, half of 81, okay, half of 81 is 40.5. Okay, we've got 40.5. So I'll put that down here. Now our area is 40.5. But remember, we've got to take this 40.5 now. We've got to multiply it by the length to make 45. What do you think you'd multiply that by in order to get what you need there? Okay, or I should say, I'm sorry, So ultimately, in order to make that work, all you're going to have to do is multiply it by the number that you need in order to get your volume. okay? And you're just multiplying by that length. Now for that, remember, you can do that by a paper pencil. You can do that by a calculator. But ultimately, all you have to do in that situation is divide. It's been wonderful working with you all through this. And I hope that you know that, once again, we made lessons 11 through 20 all multiplication. And, well, not multiplication, but geometry. Area, volume, the different shapes. From 21 on, we're going to do just straight up science lessons. All types of different science. We'll look at things. You can even send me suggestions of things that you would like to see. To close our lesson today, we're going to do one final problem. Hey, Johnson, do we actually have to have a picture of the triangular prism? Can you just use the numbers that you see? Well, of course. Remember the formula. Base times height. Cut that in half, so divided by 2, multiplied by the length. So let's look at a triangle here, and let's just plug in the numbers that we see. It has a base of 4 meters. So I'm going to open my parentheses and put 4 meters. And this has a height of 2 meters. So 2 meters. Divided by 2, multiplied by the length, and the length here is 4 meters. So now let's just do it this way, going step by step on the way down. Well, first off, in the parentheses, 4 times 2 is 8 meters. Divided by 2, multiplied by 4. What is 8 divided by 2? Well, cool. That is 4 meters multiplied by 4 meters. And what's 4 meters times 4 meters? You got it. 16 meters cubed. Because once again, base, height, length. 3 dimensions. 16 cubic meters. I turn around here. I type in 16. I hit enter. Excellent. And there's my shape. Smart score 28. I hope that you've learned from this. Remember, you can contact me anytime. I miss you guys sincerely. I look forward to seeing you all. I hope you all have enjoyed these videos and that you've learned something from them. And hey, if you have ideas of videos that I could do in the future or anything that I could do to help you all, let me know in the comments section. Subscribe to our channel. We've got our big rockets coming up here soon. Hopefully we can do those at school. If we can't, we'll do them by YouTube, and you can watch your rockets. And then the great thing about having them on YouTube is you'll be able to show them to anyone. They're like, hey, this is my rocket. Let's take a look at that, okay? Have a great day. Stay healthy. We'll see you soon.